to our 5th Annual Veterans Day Celebration Assembly. To the veterans who we are honoring today, thank you for taking the time to join us this morning. We are thankful for your service and dedication to our country and are forever grateful for the sacrifice you have made.
At this time, if you are able, please rise for the presentation of the colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the Star-Spangled Banner. Mr. Greenwald, please take it away.
Color Guard, attention. Color Guard, advance, salute. Color Guard, halt. Everyone, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color Guard, post the colors. Color Guard, retreat. Thank you.
Welcome everyone. It is wonderful to see all of our veterans and their families here. I'd like to thank you personally for the service that you did to provide our country more safety. We are very excited that everyone here took time to join us for this important celebration for our veterans. I'm Dr. Mary Ann Wright, the interim principal for Northwestern Elementary, and I'm honored to welcome you today. Did you know Veterans Day began as Armistice Day in 1919, when President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed the holiday to celebrate temporary cessation of hostilities between the Allied nations and Germany during World War I. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. That was when the major part of World War I was formally ended. At the urging of the major United States veteran organizations, Armistice Day was renamed Veterans Day in 1954. Veterans Day is different than Memorial Day because Veterans Day celebrates those that served in active duty for the armed forces. On Memorial Day, we remember those servicemen and women who gave their lives for our country. Is it okay to say Happy Veterans Day? It sure is. And thanking our veterans for their service to help keep us safe makes our veterans feel very appreciated. Mr. Fees and our students have a wonderful program planned to celebrate all the veterans, including over 100 veterans, including their families, representing them here today. Sit back and enjoy our celebration.
So what does it really mean to be a veteran?
I always thought a veteran was an animal doctor, no?
No, I think you're thinking of a veterinarian. Important person, but nothing like a veteran.
Well, thankfully, second grade is about to share an acrostic poem about what they believe it means to be a veterinarian. I mean veteran, so I can find out.
For those of you that have not been in school for the last decade or so, an acrostic poem is a poem where the first letter of each line of the poem spells a word. In this poem, the word we'll be spelling is veteran.
Hello, second grade. We can't wait to hear what you have to say. V is for valiantly fighting for our freedom. E is for eager to protect and serve. T is for the true American heroes you love. E is for exceptional and experienced men and women. R is for reliable and ready to protect our nation. A is for America's pride. N is for noble and brave. S is for special heroes in our hearts. We thank you for your service. Thank you, second grade. That was an excellent acrostic poem about our veterans. Our next piece of music in today's ceremony is the classic patriotic song, Yankee Doodle Dandy. It will be performed today by Miss Citeron's class, originally from the 1904 musical, Little Johnny Jones. Yankee Doodle Dandy was one of the many patriotic songs written by George Cohan. You're a grand old flag and over there. Also by Cohen are widely popular patriotic songs, also about the United States. As you listen closely to Yankee Doodle Dandy, today you will not only hear the iconic song, but a band of body percussion marching around the gymnasium. Enjoy! our program today, 5th grade students wrote an essay in class about what Veterans Day means to them. Each student got the chance to share their own personal Veterans Day stories, as well as talk about how Veterans Day impacted their lives. The first student that will be sharing their essay with us today is Kendall Hoffman from Mrs. Ashburn's class. Kendall, what does Veterans Day mean to you? What does Veterans Day mean to me? By Kendall Hoffman. Veterans Day is an important day because we celebrate people who serve our country in the armed forces. Veterans Day is on November 11th. Did you know Veterans Day used to be called Armistice Day? People celebrate Veterans Day because all veterans try their best to keep our country safe, even if that means they might not make it. Veterans Day means consideration and respect, because you have to consider being in the military, and we all have to respect our veterans. Veterans Day means consideration to me. Veterans Day means consideration to me because when you sign up for the military, you have to be very considerate. You have to know that you might not make it home. If you get called for war, you have to be considerate about it, and you can't just say no. You have to consider being away from family and friends for so long. You have to have a lot of consideration to being in the military. Veterans Day means respect to me. Veterans Day means respect to me because we all have to respect our veterans. They fight for us and put their life on the line for us and our country. And I'm so thankful for our veterans because they fight for us and our country, even if they don't know us specifically. They fight for us so that we don't get hurt afterward. Veterans Day means consideration and respect to me. Veterans Day means consideration to me because you have to put a lot of consideration into going to the military. And Veterans Day means respect to me because on November 11th, Veterans Day, we celebrate and respect our veterans. Veterans go out to war for all of us and our country. We should all respect our veterans and all they do for us. Thank you, Kendall. That was really awesome. The second essay that will be read by a 5th grade student today will be shared by Iowa Tyala in Mrs. Canals' class. I can't wait to hear what Veterans Day means to her. Let's all welcome Iowa to the podium. What does Veterans Day mean to me? By Iowa Tyala. Veterans Day is an annual holiday where we honor all of the serving veterans and former veterans. It is a day when we honor all of the men and women in the armed forces. Veterans Day is celebrated on November 11th at the 11th hour of the day, on the same day of the year. We celebrate it on November 11th because that is the day that World War I ended. The first Veterans Day was held in 1918, over 100 years ago. Veterans Day is celebrated in many ways. Americans celebrate by having huge parades with ROTC groups, military vehicles, horses, military planes, and bagpipes. Another way Veterans Day is celebrated is that people will hold services. The services are held at tombs and monuments. At the services, there will be a gun salute. That is where veterans fire their rifles. They will also play the musical piece Taps on a Trumpet. People also visit monuments such as the Iron Mike Monument that honors all of the paratroopers, or the veterans that jump out of planes. Veterans Day means honor to me. I think of honor because when you're in the military, you are honoring our country because you respect our country. When you respect our country, you work very hard to keep it safe every day. That to me is very important and respectful. Veterans Day also means bravery to me. It means bravery because when you're in the military, you have to be brave because you're risking your life. You are risking losing everyone that you love. It means bravery because they are leaving their families so everyone in this country can live in peace and freedom. To me, Veterans Day is very special. I think it is special because it is a day where we get to recognize all the men and women in the military. I think that everyone should respect all the veterans in our country because they fight to give us freedom. If you know a veteran, give them a big hug and say thanks today. You should thank a veteran today because they risk their lives every day. They work hard day in and day out, 24/7 and 365 days a year. They don't get to see their families every day after work, even though they want to, because they may be in another country. I love Veterans Day because you get to know how many people are in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Space Force, or the Marines. That is why Veterans Day is so important to me and why I think everyone should respect Veterans Day. Somebody I know from the Army is my dear family friend Chad. Although Chad is not my grandfather, he treats us like close family. He was in the Army for 25 years. When he was in the Army, he was an Army aviator. An Army aviator is an officer that goes through training to fly planes and or helicopters. It is also the coolest person on earth. He flew 7 different aircrafts, including the UH-1 Huey helicopter, TH-67 Scout helicopter, UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter, C-12 King Air airplane, Dash 7, Dash 8, and the ATR. He said that his favorite thing about being in the Army was that he made lifelong friends and that he got to see a whole bunch of different places with his family. He also said that being in the Army was full of adventure every day. There was always something new to learn, and he would always look forward to coming home to see his family. When Chad was in the Army, he was stationed in many different places, including Fort Wood, Texas, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Fort Rucker, Alabama, Camp Stanley and Camp Humphreys, Korea, Fort Meade, Maryland, and his favorite place, Fort Bliss, Texas. Fort Bliss, Texas was his favorite place because everyone was so nice and the food was so good there. Chad was also deployed in 4 different places: Afghanistan, Bogota in Colombia, Somalia, and Bosnia. That is my Veterans Day essay. I'm so thankful for the freedom to be here today, in school, learning and celebrating our country's veterans with everyone today. Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, Isla. Have you ever wondered what a poem about the American flag would sound like in hip-hop style? No, I'm pretty sure no one has. Well, too bad, because that is actually what we are going to hear today, written by 2 zany composers named Shoeless Jeff and Scott Free, the flag rap. It is a bit of history about what the colors and stars represent on the American flag. Sharing their rhythmic abilities with us, the beatboxing duo Lincoln and Asher. Now this I have to see. I just pity the next person who has to speak into this microphone after they beatbox into it for 2 minutes. Good luck, Mrs. Hanson's class. fifth grade student that will be sharing an essay with us today is Quinn Hopford from Mrs. Williams' class. His piece titled What Veterans Day Means to Me will no doubt impress your literary taste buds. Quinn, thank you for sharing your masterpiece.
What Veterans Day Means to Me by Quinn Hopford. Veterans Day is a national holiday where we honor the men and women who served or are currently serving in our military. We celebrate Veterans Day every year on November 11th on the 11th hour. We honor our veterans by having parades, gun salutes, moments of silence, visiting grave sites, giving speeches, and more. Veterans Day means a lot to me because there are many soldiers who died protecting our country. When I think of Veterans Day, I think of the word selfless. I think of the word selfless because selfless is a strong word meaning always thinking of others before themselves. Veterans are selfless because they fight for our freedom and leave their home and family to protect our country. Another word I think of when I think of Veterans Day is bravery. I think of bravery because there are many brave soldiers who risk their lives to fight for our country. Without our veterans, we would not have what we have right now, so I'm very thankful for our brave veterans. I do not personally know many veterans, but it must be horrible fighting in the war. It doesn't matter whether it's the Army, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, or the Navy. Every branch is scary in its own way. Randy, a veteran of my church, used to be a nurse in the war. He helped many people, and even though he wasn't fighting with guns or weapons, he had a very important job to take care of the soldiers. I'm very proud to know Randy, and I'm very happy that we have the rights that we have and the ability to serve and choose to. Thank you to our veterans for your service. And happy 248th birthday for the Marines. Thank you.
The next piece of music performed by Mrs. McDonald's class at our ceremony today is another classic patriotic song titled This Is Our Country, originally composed in 1940 by Al Jacobs and Don Beck. This song may be most famous for concluding Disney World and Disneyland fireworks displays over the years. Now you know you are famous when even Disney wants to use your music to conclude a show. Good luck, Mrs. McDonald's class.
Country, grandest on earth.
we have a touching? To our school and his family in watching the station at the time he was out in the field and surprised about everyone with a good one from out in the field that we are forever grateful that you took time out of your busy schedule to join us today in person. This time, not even I knew this was happening until right now. Please join me in welcoming to the podium my dad, Specialist Ryan Williams.
Well, hello everybody. I wasn't nervous. I'm a little touchy with my daughter. I don't really like to stand at the podium. Just did a leaders class a couple months ago. Told me not to stand at the podium, so I'm going to walk around a little bit. But again, I wasn't really nervous until I got here and I saw my mother-in-law walk in, so now I'm really nervous. So, let's go. My name is Specialist Williams, Pennsylvania National Guard. I am a firefighter in the National Guard. Like my daughter said, I was deployed last year. Made a video that the staff graciously helped me with. But here today we're talking about veterans, not myself. Look around the room, look in the community, you see great people, you see hats, you see everything, you see uniforms. I love it. Why did I join? I joined because I wanted to be a disciplined person. I was young, I was 18, thought I knew everything, just like most 18-year-olds did. But I wanted to be a professional, I wanted to be disciplined. I figured that's the only one way to do it. My career path, I joined in 2012, straight out of high school. I had a best friend that passed away, he was in the service, and he drove me to be in service. My deployment last year was a fireman. There's very few of us in the National Guard, there's 14 of us, joining them every day. But what we did over there, we trained NATO allies, which was awesome. Met a lot of great people. I met Italians, Bulgarians, Romanians, outstanding. Learning languages that I didn't think I could ever learn. But here today, here's the veterans. Why I like talking to veterans. I love talking to veterans because you hear their stories. Everybody's story is different. Mr. Butters, Mr. Bush, other individuals here that I don't know personally, but I look up to because I know they have a great career past. Events like this, you get to meet new people. You get to meet people you didn't know that were veterans before. There's a lot of faces that I haven't seen before. Kids who probably remember me from fire prevention. Hope you remember anything. Remember that. But the Veterans Day Memorial last year, I was very happy to be a part of, be there. In my career in the Army, I got to meet some great people. And before big accomplishments or big events that happened in my life, I got to meet, which were a few, but I got two great people. Anybody wants to see your band brothers, I got to meet Bill Garnier. Helped me a lot before I went to basic, and gave me a good view on military, veterans, and to set my goals. Last year, right before my deployment, I met Command Sergeant Major Daly, somebody I never thought I'd ever get to meet. Nobody knows who the Command Sergeant Major of the Army is. It's one person, one rank, out of everybody in the military. What's great about that is I got to compare to him that we both have a gray spot on our head, which maybe I feel like one day I'll be Sergeant Major for that. what I also like about being in the military is the people you meet. The kids said it. I don't want to repeat what the kids said, but the kids said it where you meet people every day. Wherever you go, you meet somebody new. The people I met on deployment from other states, from other movements, made lifelong friends. Like the young girl said, about Mr. Butters and all that. You meet amazing people. Recently, a couple months ago, I went to a Leader course, and I never met him, never talked to him in my life before, but I see him in the paper here at Northwestern Press. And his name was Will Delaker. And I walked up to him and I said, Mr. Delaker, how are you? Never met him in my life. He stood up, looked at me like I was crazy, which I was. But I see his paper, or his picture in the paper, and I said, are you from Detroit? His eyes were perked up real big. Yeah, how do you know? I know who you are. And I told him who I was. I said, when did you graduate? We had a nice conversation at lunch while we were in our course. And since then, now we talk. It's just amazing how you meet people wherever you go that, one, can just be here at Detroit, or in our community as a school. Most importantly, for the kids, if you get anything out of my speech, I want you to remember that to build a dream, build what you want to be. You're young, you're all young in elementary school, but build your dream for what you want to be. My littlest one here wants to be an astronaut. So when I learned she wanted to be an astronaut, I realized I had to re-enlist to get more college education stuff, because that's the real. But my dream was I wanted to be in service. I wanted to be a fireman. I wanted to be a leader. I wanted to build my dream house, and I want to have my dream wife and my own family. Here today, I'm a career fireman. I'm not only in the Guard. I'm a veteran, volunteer fireman. Obviously, I'm here today, so I served. And yesterday, I started moving around my house, my dream house. And luckily, my dream wife sits right here. With that, I want to, most importantly for me, for Veterans Day, I didn't learn it until last year, is the importance of your family when you're deployed. The importance of your community when you're deployed. I can't thank the school, the staff, everybody, Mrs. Keys, everybody that supported me, supported my girls, supported my wife when I was gone. Get a little emotional when I talk about it, I'm sorry, but for everybody, I couldn't do what I do, couldn't go to drill, I couldn't go to my deployment without my spouse, without my wife, without my family. I think, me personally, I think it's harder for them than it was for me on the deployment. The stuff that they had to deal with while I was gone, my wife running a household with two crazy kids, girls, by herself, doing sports, everything like that while I am over there doing what I do. Running a household by herself is, I can't stress it enough how thankful I am. And for everybody's spouse of a veteran, just because it's Veterans Day doesn't mean that you are not a veteran as well. I think you're just as important. Lastly, sorry to get my nervousness out of here, I want to thank everybody again for the support, for helping me, helping soldiers across the board. I recently heard, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, about the Soldiers Angels that you guys are doing. I want to stress that is absolutely wonderful. I received a lot of packages from Soldiers Angels while I was over there. A lot of us did. Some of us, my wife said play packages. But some of the kids and some of the younger soldiers that didn't have anybody, that didn't have a family, received a package. And if not, we gave them. That came from schools, that came from anywhere. And I had a lady, luckily for me, I got letters from everywhere. Somehow they knew it was my birthday or something for me. They knew it was my birthday, but I got cards for my birthday, I got cards for Christmas, I got cards for anything. But I had a lady that always wrote, always. It was either every week we would get mail, it was a Wednesday we would get mail, and every week I had a letter from this lady. And it would be from anywhere, Colorado, across the country, anywhere. It was weird that I got this lady that wrote me every single week, and she didn't know where I lived, she didn't know anything about me besides my birthday, I guess, and where I was. But it was extremely weird, and today I'd like to meet her. She lives an hour from here. And across the entire country, I was getting letters, but this lady lives an hour. My goal was one day here. But she sent me packages, letters every week. So I have extremely, when I found out that really soul changes, supportive. Absolutely supportive because it changes attitudes, visions, for everything, for everybody that is over there. So I thank you to the staff and everybody for doing that. For me and everybody else out there. Most importantly, kids, I want you to remember one thing. One thing out of my entire speech, maybe you guys can help me, that's great, is if you have an emergency, what should you call? Perfect, I love it. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you everybody for coming.
Let's give one more round of applause to Specialist Brian Williams. Thank you again for speaking to our school today. Our next song is performed by the entire 4th grade class. It's one of the most recognizable rock anthems of all time. Born in the USA is considered a patriotic demonstration about being proud to be an American. Well, proud to be an American is a completely different song. Sorry, another joke bites with us. Also, a different song. My bad, I just so excited to share all the great music we get to perform in music class. Helping us today is well-known rapper Abel Barnes, who will be sharing his percussive skills with the audience. This should be good. Take it away, 4th grade.
telling me to be so glad I was born in the USA. Let's give one more round of applause to Abel Barnes and Oliver. And now, for a few thank you notes from third graders to you. First up is Olivia Boyd.
Dear soldiers, thank you so much for our peace and freedom. You have been protecting all of us for a long, long time. I hope you are very proud of yourselves, and I hope your families are too. God bless you all out there fighting for our freedom. Hopefully all this fighting and war will end soon. Love, Olivia Boyle.
Dear Grandma, I'm thankful that you are still in for America. You are so strong and brave. Thank you for serving in the Air Force. I am glad that you survived. You are my hero. Husk, Kyle.
Dear Richard, thank you for serving on making dangerous explosive torpedoes. No matter if you weren't in the war fighting, I thank you for risking your life making torpedoes and sacrificing time to make our own nation's torpedoes. I wouldn't do what you did, and I couldn't do what you did. I really appreciate what you did for America. Sincerely, Asa Harris. Dear Daddy friend, thank you for serving our country. I appreciate the sacrifice you made for all of us. I appreciate that you risked your life for America and served your time for America. Happy Veterans Day. Love you.
Dear Chad, thank you, Chad, for serving in the Army and risking your life so we can have freedom. Thank you for everything you did to protect our country. Without you, we would not be here. You are so brave to go out there and fight. Thank you so much for helping our country. Dear Chad, thank you for your service. We appreciate your sacrifice for protecting our country. Thank you for fighting for our country. You take big risks when others don't. You step forward when others step back. Thank you for serving our country and protecting our freedom. Thank you for serving our country and helping keep us free. I respect and honor you more than you know. Our country only has its freedom thanks to the soldiers and veterans. Thank you for protecting our freedom and liberty. You did the right thing being in the military. You protect us from danger. Thank you for not giving up. I just can't believe how brave you are. You're the bravest person I know. I'm so thankful that you were in the military. God bless you always. Sincerely, Finland.
Thank you for sharing your letters, third graders. We have a lot to celebrate at our school, whether it is the fact that we get to have great ceremonies like this one to share with the community, or the fact that we just absolutely love Veterans Day. Celebrations are a part of our school's DNA. While we are celebrating, we also want to celebrate our great school that we go to, Northwestern Elementary. Without the teachers and students at NWE, there will be no program for you today. So because of you, we give thanks. We will all sing our celebration song and school song for you now.
Williams, and all the veterans who are here with us today. We thank you for your service and for joining us for today's program. Thank you to parents who came today to enjoy the program with us. If you are here, veterans, parents, and any students that have veterans, you're welcome to stay to enjoy refreshments with us in the lobby after the students head back to class. Thank you so much for coming.
That's what Steve just said.